I wanted a challenge, and this one seemed like pretty damn hard.
Sam Ovens is the founder of Skool.com, one of the fastest growing community platforms on the internet.
I joked with the team, it's unlimited expensive things for 90% off.
In this video, I talk with Sam about why he decided to launch Skool's $9 pricing tier, even though it frightened his investors.
This one really freaked everyone out. The accountants, the data people, everyone was freaked out.
How he moved Skool away from the hustle bro culture that was starting to give it a bad reputation.
People trying to win the Skool Games, they're running ads, and it made Skool kind of look like an MLM. So to fix that, it took like quite a lot of work, honestly. Like that took a lot of cleaning. It felt like I was scrubbing Skool.
And why he believes that the passion of the early internet holds the key to helping 1 billion people find community.
It didn't matter how much money you had or how much status you had or anything. The only thing that mattered was how like pure your interest was in this weird thing. You don't do it unless you love it, and it's so pure like that it just gets the most pure group. I think there's that going on Skool.
Sam, super grateful to have you on the show. I want to start by talking about the mission of Skool. The mission is to help 1 billion people find community. So why did you decide to pick that mission?
Well, it actually started, I wanted to make something big, like, because I really like the internet and computers, and also I really like the communities of people that organize around like passions or hobbies. Because I've done like car racing, rock climbing, skateboarding, and I meet these really passionate people, and the internet is really good at bringing those people together, like through forums or MSN or AOL chat, or then it turned into Facebook groups and things. And I also love making things in software, right? And so the ultimate kind of like software thing to make is like a platform that can reach 1 billion people. So like there's only a handful of those, right? Like Google, Instagram, Facebook, And so, I wanted to build something big, a platform like that, and for this kind of purpose. And then, I knew I wanted to build something of that scale for that market, but the words, like the nice words, like to help 1 billion people find community, that didn't come until like 4 years later.
Okay.
Because to just say, oh, we want to build something that 1 billion people use doesn't sound as good as to help 1 billion people find community, right?
Of course, yeah.
But that's really what we're trying to do. It's just better wording.
Was it always like that? Like, I know that this must have been an evolution. You were doing other things before, like helping people with consulting. Like, how much of that vision did you have in the start? Or is this something that you just kind of like found out as you went?
Well, I've always loved computers, and I've got like even a photo that I can probably even show you that I keep it on my like desktop computer. Can I share a screen on this thing?
Yeah, I should be able to.
But yeah, see this? That was my first computer. And I keep it there as kind of just a reminder of like to keep it pure, and like that's what I've always loved, like my computer. And I remember getting online first on this computer. Like I loved the computer before it was even connected to the internet.
Yeah.
Then we got it connected to the internet, and I was like, oh my God. And this is still pre-Google.
Yeah.
Then Google came out, and I was like, oh my God. And then I've lived through like the evolution of the internet, right? And it was like finding these passionate groups of people online that really I loved so much. But I loved all of it, honestly, even just the computer. I loved that too. And so, that's kind of where it all began. And then I really liked, making things. Like my first business I ever started was an app, and it like worked, but I didn't love the market. And I kind of fell in love with this online business market, and I created like helping them solve their problems, but it wasn't in software. Um, and I got very good at that. But then I thought, you know, there could be a software for this market, and it could be at this kind of scale.
Right.
And that's what got me excited because I was kind of bored of doing what I was doing. Um, I wanted a challenge, and this one seemed like pretty damn hard. And I had no idea how it was even going to work, how I was going to build it, how much money it was going to, how it was going to make money. But I just wanted to do something challenging. And I really love this market and I love computers. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It makes sense. You just released this $9 option for Skool, which is going to really make it accessible for a lot more people. Um, Obviously, that's like part of the mission. But can you describe a little bit more about like who this $9 option is for? Like, is there somebody specific that this is for?
Well, yeah, the people that can't afford 99, which is like a lot of people,
Yeah.
like um, everyone else that wants to do this. So,
Mm.
I mean, we called it the hobby plan because, and I think a lot of them have resonated with it. Like I saw someone teaches gardening and, a lot of the crafts like painting and, we've all of a sudden got the attention of like Patreon type people and
Okay.
yeah. And so hobbies, crafts, all of that. But also just people that want to start, right?
Mm.
Like beginners. Um, because paying 99 a month while you're figuring everything out, it's quite a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you imagine that the people who are starting at 99 will have the same goals as the people who are starting at $9? Like, I know there's to get into Skool before at the $99 price, it was probably people who were, I'm assuming, already more kind of invested in making a business, more committed to that, making it their lifestyle. Whereas now there's this whole, you're able to do it without that kind of maybe incentive to make money? Do you think that it's gonna be the same market, or is it gonna be kind of 2 different people?
So first of all, I think there's not that many people. Like you quickly run out of people that were going to pay 99 a month, right?
Mm,
There's like a reason why a lot of software is priced lower, like consumer software, right?
yeah,
Um, so I think that market's kind of limited, like, and also I think a lot of the internet is free, right?
yeah,
Like making free stuff, free communities, free whatever. Paying $99 a month to make something for free doesn't make a lot of sense.
mm,
So this also opens up that market. Hobbyists, crafting, fun communities. I saw some things that made me that really made me think we need to do this $9 plan. Like, um, I think it was Jason Arnott, you know him?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he had like a metal community that I was in, like heavy
mm,
metal. He also had one about Dr. Seuss or something, like very creative.
nice,
He closed both of them
mm,
and made one about like making money on school.
okay,
And I was like, oh shit. Um, I even saw like, yeah, there was something about charging 99 a month that made people like just feel the need to make money.
mm,
And there's nothing wrong with making money, but we shouldn't be like just nudging everyone that way because if someone just wants to make a Dr. Seuss or a heavy metal community, like they should be allowed to do that, right?
mm, yeah,
Um, yeah, so I think it was, and I think it was putting like strain on a lot of people. Plus, yeah, I think you get it.
mm. Alright, so for people who are, like, making these kinds of hobby communities, um, do you have any kind of advice for them in terms of getting started?
Um, just the same things we always say, like pick a topic you're passionate about, like get people in there early, see what they want, let them pull it from you, like hang out, make it fun, keep it simple. Um, and yeah, just figure things out along the way, right? Like I try not to be too prescriptive or even, like, give advice. I don't even really like doing that.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think people are, like, way more creative than they think, and they just need to trust themselves a lot of the time.
Mm. Are you Are you worried that people are gonna be dropping off from the $99 plan? Like, people who are really focused on building a business or something like that, that they'll just, like, give up and be like, "Oh, I can't make this work anymore. I'm just gonna, drop it and do something easier?"
You mean, like, am I worried we're gonna lose, like, a lot of money?
Eh,
Yeah, I think, like, everyone has been. I think other people in the company have been way more worried than me.
mm,
Um, but this one really freaked everyone out, like, the accountants, the data people, um, VCs, like, investors, everyone, like, even some customers
mm,
that care about Skool, right? Like,
yeah.
Evelyn and Calvin and stuff. Everyone was freaked out. It was quite an interesting thing to do
So why'd you do it anyway?
because I had a feeling a
How
bit
much
more a bit more than that. We also did a lot of analysis, but at the root of it was, like, just this feeling that this is what we need to do.
That's super interesting to me. It's such a major decision and can have such big consequences. How much do you trust those kinds of feelings when you're running your business?
Well, you do the data too, right?
Okay.
So we, like, looked at worst case scenarios and modeled everything out. We, like,
Mm,
and tried to run through all of these scenarios in our head, like, what would happen in this case, and then we looked at, well, if this much happened, like, would we be okay? Like, but to make it even more wild, we shipped the native video one the week before.
right.
Mm, yeah, and we've got live streaming coming up. So,
It's a lot of unknowns, I guess. The more I'm imagining, the more especially these kind of bigger features and stuff, there's a lot of unpredictable stuff that can happen with them.
well, I joked with the team, it's unlimited expensive things for 90% off.
Yeah.
It's a great business plan.
What inspired you to run a business like this? Have you always been taking these kinds of big risks?
Um, I guess so.
Mm,
Like, I yeah, it's not like I'm just being, like, crazy. Like, I've done a lot of analysis. I've been thinking about this since November. So I've been working towards this from November. So, like, a long time, right?
mm.
Um, and yeah, it's but you I like things that are exciting. I like testing the limits of things, and I just want to make something cool.
I know that there's a lot of people on Skool who have been on the platform for maybe about a year. I came onto the platform about a year and a half ago or something like that when Alex was first getting involved. And I know a lot of people come onto the platform with the desire of like making money, making a full time income, doing what they love. And being an entrepreneur is sometimes more of a challenge than people realize. I'm curious, like, for people like that who are really hustling to try to make it work, um, do you think do you think that there's something that people need to know or need to understand about that process that they're not doing? Like, are people doing the wrong thing? Do you see common patterns with people who are always engaged in trying to make things work, but not actually moving forward?
Well, yeah, I think one of the biggest ones I see is people just don't do something that they actually are passionate about, right?
Hmm.
Like, they're doing something because someone else is doing something, or and I think when you do that, you're, like, too fixated on trying to get an outcome fast,
Hmm.
and I don't think you make anything good like that. And so, often you just give up
Hmm.
really quick, and of course, you're not gonna succeed if you do that. Or, you don't give it the time it needs, right?
Mm.
And then it won't do very well either. So I think you should do something you're interested in, and it does need time, which is why $9 is great, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's, and then I think there's just getting distracted, like,
Mm.
trying to do a million things, right? That's always getting everyone. Um, yeah,
Mm.
that one's always getting everyone.
So if somebody's really trying to make it work and they're trying to make school into like their full-time thing, um, how do they understand what the main thing is? Like, how do they, what would you suggest that they really focus on?
Um, I haven't even given this much thought, honestly. You're asking me like I'm like the school advisor or something. What I would do is I'd look at people who are successful on school and see
Yeah.
what they're doing, right? Um, I would look at all the people that are successful and see what are they doing and what was their
Mm.
journey like. And I think you'll start to notice patterns. I think you'll notice that they're doing something they're passionate about, that
Mm.
they've stuck to it for a decent amount of time. It took them a lot of time and practice to get good. And they're also like naturally differentiated somehow, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't just look like everyone else. But I think that's a natural byproduct of following your interests, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
I really like that. It makes me kind of curious about how new this maybe business model is, or this way of like making community online, earning money from it. It feels like pretty new territory. Like people can kind of do things that haven't been done before. How much do you think about that in terms of the way that you build the platform?
Well, making money online isn't that new anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do that. And I've seen the problems with one-time purchases, right? You're always looking for the next customer
Yeah.
and you're always looking for the next launch, the next product. And it kind of encourages this like churn and burn kind of thing. It's like pump this thing up, say
Yeah.
that thing, and say this is the new thing. Launch it, do it again. Um, and I think there's something really nice about recurring,
Yeah.
like really nice. Like I found it eventually when I did this business. It was my mastermind. That was a recurring thing, right? And that was the best. And I especially liked working with people for long periods of time,
Mm.
like developing deeper relationships with
Right.
people and actually learning. I still actually chat to them all the time, um, in school DMs and joke with them. And they're not even like my customers anymore, but like we're friends. Um, I really like that. I really don't like just churning through people.
Right.
Mm, so I think there's a lot like the subscription model is really good. There's a reason why almost everything has moved to it,
Yeah.
right? Um, and then I also love how it makes you focus on churn.
Mm.
Churn is something that people are like, oh my God, that's bad. So I'm going to do one time so I never have to deal with it. But you have to deal with different type of churn in one time. It's like churn of your whole business. You got
Yeah.
to reinvent it every few months, right? Um, but if you really look at what the churn tells you, it'll make you better. Because if you make your product better, if you look after your customers better,
Mm.
they'll stay longer, your churn will go down. Then you won't need it to do as much marketing to get new people. Or if you do the same amount of marketing, you'll just grow.
Right.
So I really like that. And I think there's something cool about communities because, one buying static content is kind of boring, right? There's enough static content on the
Yeah.
internet, right? Um, there's almost everything you could ever imagine on the internet. So clearly, like, and then I think with AI and everything, connection is super important.
Mm.
Um, So yeah, I think there's this nice combination of like some static content, which is like courses, live things, which is like calendar events and calls, and then the community with the subscription business model.
Mhm.
I think there's some very nice configuration of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm doing video editing through Skool, and I don't think I ever would have started to do it if it was just on Fiverr and I was, like, trying to, you know, build a business in that way, but there was something about the community model actually having, like, a group of people that I engage with and that I'm constantly connected with, and then helping them that makes it, it's a really exciting way for me to think about building a business because 'cause I've got this, like, network of feedback that's I'm like, "Okay, I know what this person likes, and I know what this person likes," and I can kind of build things around that. I'm curious about the like, how integrated do you think this recurring revenue model is with community? Like, I don't know, there's something that seems very, very connected between those things. How important is that to the process is that to your process and your goal of helping 1,000,000,000 people find community?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, the model of, recurring revenue and having that kind of underlying financial connection between people, how important do you think that is for helping 1,000,000,000 people find community? Like, do you think they're paired?
Yeah, well, there needs to be an incentive, right? An economic incentive for people to build the things.
Yeah,
Like on YouTube there is,
yeah,
right? Yeah. Um, so I think there needs to be an economic incentive, and I think this is a really good business model.
mm,
We don't force it. You can kind of run whatever business model you want, but I think it pairs really well with community. Um, and yeah, I think that if people can make building community their career, then they will do it. It'll attract a lot of people and they will show up every day like it's their thing.
yeah,
And that's what makes communities good. And yes, someone needs to care a lot, actually.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's hard for someone to care a lot when there's no
yeah,
like, because they've got bills. Everyone's
yeah.
got bills to pay. Yeah.
When Alex was first partnering with Skool and, involved with the ads and everything, there was a lot of focus around that kind of make money online. And with the first Skool Games and the season of madness, there was like a lot of hype around making money. Do you still feel like that's, I don't know, where your heart is with Skool, or was that what like? Do you have anything around that that you've?
Yeah. It's like, school started out without the payment side, right?
Right.
And then we added that
Mm,
and it definitely added an interesting element to it all. Um, and then we wanted to like add this element into it, like money, making money. And Hormozi's like the ultimate person for that. In the
yeah.
Skool Games, Season Madness. And, I like to do things until like to quite an extreme degree. And I think we kind of found I bet you could have gone further on that. But, we kind of saw like, well, at least I saw like I had a pretty good idea what would happen if we kept going in that direction.
Mm,
Um, and I was like, okay, let's pull back on that a little bit. Um, but it's not like I want to eradicate it. Like, imagine if
mm,
we just stripped the payment system and money out of school, it wouldn't
yeah.
be school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then, oh, you go.
I had a lot of fun during that period of time. I really enjoyed it. I even had like a moment where I got to ask Alex a question on one of these calls. Um, is he gonna come back?
Yeah. Um, so he's at all of the school games events. Like, he's
Yeah,
coming to the one next weekend. Um, and we talk like all the time. And he's working on something big that's coming up for
mm,
school.
mm,
Um, and yeah, he's like super involved. Like, it's just we saw that there was I'm curious, did you see any problems with what we were doing last year?
I was having a great time. I really, really enjoyed it. I
You
know.
saw problems. Like, I swear the problems didn't really become problems till like October, November, December.
Hmm, like with the Cybertruck.
I don't know if it was the Cybertruck specifically,
Hmm,
but like just the I really like I think it was peak Skool Games and peak fun and everything September, which is when like Max Person
hmm,
won was battling. But then after that, there was so much like sketchy stuff going on, like with people trying to
hmm,
win and sketchier people turning up to the Skool Games
hmm,
that people were kind of like just trying to hack the system to win the Skool Games. And then we would hear these horror stories of people like not delivering
hmm,
and then the other thing you've also got to pay attention to is like from the inside we're like, oh, it's all good, but what do people on the outside think too?
yeah.
You said it yourself to me. Didn't you say your sister thought this was an MLM scam or something?
Yeah, I've definitely heard that from one or two people.
Yeah. And so instead of just being like, oh, they're haters, fuck them, I'm like, I'm curious why. Like, what is it?
Hmm,
And so I really started to look. And they they're judging it by like the outside, right? They're
yeah.
not actually giving it time. But you can't fault them for that. That's what most people do.
Hmm,
And so what was serving more impressions than anything? It was the ads. What were the ads about? Like
hmm.
it looked very hustle broy and money, right?
Right, right, right,
And then people trying to win the Skool Games, they're running ads, and it made school kind of look like an MLM. Like
right.
some people were teaching you how to make money on school like it was. And even we had that kind of problem with the affiliates thing and the leaderboards. If you see ads teaching and it's people teaching you how to make money with school, and then you join the community and it's people doing value posts, and then they're trying to help you make money with school. You look
Right.
at the leaderboards and it's people trying to help you make money with school. You look at the affiliates thing and it's people trying to, and you're like, who's joining these communities?
Yeah.
Are people just making communities about making communities? You know?
Yeah.
Um, and then even you look at Discovery and it's kind of like that. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I can see how they formed that opinion. And what I found is that it wasn't there was this we were still getting like a very diverse group of people on school, but those were the ones that were because school community was a community of community builders,
Yeah.
people wanted to appeal to that market.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then when they saw someone ranking or like winning doing that, then they were like, oh, that's the strategy, right?
Mhm.
Um, so to fix that, it took like quite a lot of work, honestly. Like that took a lot of cleaning. Like it felt like I was scrubbing school for like months. Um, like the leaderboards, introducing categories because allows other things to surface.
Right.
The price cap that kind of removes, well, it's a handicap, not an actual cap, but that removes, and then removing the crazy prizes, it removes the incentive and it removes the mechanism to kind of cheat,
Right.
right? And so now you see more like real things showing up,
Yeah.
ranking,
Mhm.
and then you don't really see as many communities about how to make communities, right?
Mhm.
Are you seeing less of that?
No, I mean, there's definitely been a culture shift for sure from the inside at least. It's hard to know what the outside perception is. I don't spend enough time on social media. Um, but I'm curious, like I know the coaching industry in general has kind of got a bad rap. There's some of these, programs where it's like it really does feel like they're just trying to sell something for a lot of money without delivering on it, or like there are scams on the internet. So how do you counteract that? Like I know what you just said about removing kind of the ads that were more focused on money, but do you do you see a way of like shifting that kind of broader cultural perception around making money online, around starting a business?
Yeah, well, that's where I was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with making money online, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I think when that's the only thing you're trying to do, it becomes a problem pretty quick.
Yeah.
Um, it also is everyone's problem and why they can't make money online. Um, and so that's where that passion thing came from, which I tried to go back to the beginning, like in a way, like I tried to fix all of the problems and then go really like, why did I start this thing in the first place?
Mm.
And it's about passionate communities, um, like things around passions. And so I think if someone's making a lot of money, but they're doing their passion, that's the best, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I think, and I think we've changed a lot of our messaging and everything to now be like passion first, and then there's nothing wrong with making money.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, I don't have a problem with people that are just full hustle bro and just want to make money. But like, I don't want school to get stereotyped as just only that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why do you think I should have just kept leaning into?
No, I think it's great. I'm like, I love it. I think, yeah, we have to be ready uh, to drop things we're attached to. I'm big into non-attachment, and I think if people have too much attachment to what's going on there, it can lead to some unhealthy behaviors, and we definitely saw a bit of that.
Yeah, I think like, I spent a lot of time making the product, got it to a good spot. Then like Hormozi pushed it really hard. I saw some problems with it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like fix some things and then we can go back into this new kind of mode of like growth, right?
Mm.
And so I do think we probably went a little bit too far on the like almost hating on making money a little bit.
Mm.
Just because I was probably having like an allergic reaction
Right.
to it. But also I think it was important too, because if you don't make a bold move, then I'd rather like over do something than just try to like do it a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now I think I can see where that point is of balance.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm curious about, you know, school is its mission is to help people find community, and school itself is a community. So there's this kind of meta thing going on where schoolers is like a real community, and that community is composed of other communities. Um, how much how much are you feeling the community aspect of school, like personally?
Quite a lot. But I don't know, there's not really a scale to this feeling community thing, but I'm friends with people on school. I chat to them every day.
Mm.
I listen to what everyone says. I try to make the space good. I care about it and I have fun. Um, why are you asking?
I guess,
Like exploring the community?
yeah. I mean, for me, the school has been the most that I've actually felt an online, like felt like it's a real community, since early days of Facebook probably, but even like it's really the most that I've ever seen this online. Um, I we've all been part of different communities throughout our lives, and there's something that feels very real life about school to me. Um, I feel like I'm seeing a lot more authenticity. Maybe it's people in different time zones hopping on video calls and things like that, but it really feels like you do get to know people in a way that is a lot deeper than I've seen on other platforms. Um, yeah.
Why do you
So
think?
why do I think it is?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Micah's point, like you do have a lot of credit for that. I think Micah brought that up on one of the podcasts where she said that the leadership is really, moving things forward and setting the example. And I think that's true because, for example, with the hustle bro culture thing, we could have continued to move in that direction. That might have been, I mean, I don't know whether that would have been a better financial move or not, but it would have been a natural thing, I think, for many people to do. But then to recognize that maybe that wasn't the best thing for the culture, you took some risks, I think, in shifting it. So, um, I gotta hats off to you for that. Um,
Yeah, I think like, where do you experience community, right? Um, there's not many places left, I think.
hmm,
But growing up in New Zealand, I think I mean, first of all, I just have always been passionate about things, like, with no matter what it is, I just put my whole heart into it, and I tend to just obsess about it. So,
hmm,
like, even if it's, like, say, like, skateboarding, for example, I'll get home and go straight to the skate park. And if you just show up a lot and care about it a lot, you meet other people that do too. And then you become really good friends with them. And then you get really good because
mhm,
you skate with them and
mhm,
you watch skating DVDs and things, right? And I've done that so many times. So I did it with like computers. I would like get real obsessed about computers. I'd go on the forums, figure out like what motherboard to get, whatever. And I found that I'd be chatting to these people online in these forums and they would notice and recognize like how passionate I was. And they would offer to help me, like, if I got stuck. And this guy owned, like, an internet cafe, and he was like, "Oh, I'd broken my computer. I didn't know how to put it back together," basically. I was, like, 11 or something.
mm,
Um, and I showed he was like, "Come in and I'll just help you fix it," right? And he was, like, this 40-year-old man, and
mm,
when I showed up, he was like, "Oh my god, are you serious? You are that person online?"
mm,
And I think I experienced that early internet where the only people that were on the internet were
right,
passionate hobbyists.
right.
Like, they were the only ones on the
Yeah.
internet,
Mhm,
right? Where it didn't matter how much money you had or how much status you had or anything, even what age you were or what you
mhm,
looked like, nothing. The
mhm,
only thing that mattered was how, like, pure your interest was in this weird thing,
mhm,
and they were willing to help each other based on that, right? And I met so many people that helped me do so many things from, like, building race cars and, like, rock climbing or skateboarding. It's like crazy. Um, and I noticed there was just this pattern of like finding these passionate groups of people that organized around this weird interest. Um, and it just felt very pure. And people often say this about different communities that are weird. Like if you listen to any skater talk about skating, the thing that makes them really hooked to it is the community.
mm,
Because people don't skate for money.
yeah,
I know people get paid to skate, but they definitely didn't start. It's not the best way to make a lot of money
yeah,
if that's the only goal, right? And so there's something you don't do it unless you love it, and it's so pure like that that it just gets the most pure group.
yeah,
Yeah, and so I think there's that going on School.
mm,
Um, it's not a fame game in a way, um, and it does have, like, some early internet kind of vibes to it, right? Like, early forum kind of vibes. The other thing is, because it can become a career, you can invest a lot of time into it,
mhm,
right? And so, like, people that skate, like, skate a lot. If someone doesn't skate as much as you probably won't become friends with them because you want someone as hardcore as you. And so, the fact that there's a lot of hardcore schoolers
yeah,
really means that there's always you can count on the same people to be online all day,
mhm.
every day. So you know they're gonna be there. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah. I think you really nailed it there, that it's sometimes the passion thing, I'm like, passion is I know passion is important. I do the things that I'm driven to do. I've always been like that. But sometimes I'm just like, are we blowing it out of proportion how important passion is? But what you just touched on there, I think is really the essence of it. Like all of the strongest communities that I've experienced over time, like ones that have lasted 20 years, have been ones where there was a common passion, a common something that everybody cared deeply about, you know? And that's definitely true for a lot of people in
I'm
school.
curious why everyone always hates on this thing. They're like, no, passion is bullshit. Um, why? Do you know?
I think for me, being an artist, I spent a lot of my life pursuing music and stuff, and I've been burned by following my passion without realistic understandings about the financial component of it. You know, like just do what you love and everything will work out. That's not necessarily the way that it is. So I think that we have to be smart about our passions, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't like realistic, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't
Then
follow them.
doesn't it kind of ruin the passion when it doesn't work out?
Not if you're passionate about it, I don't think. If you're really
I
doing it
guess
for the
if
love.
you put it in the category of like hobby or work, like because yeah, if you've got your job and you don't expect your passion to provide,
Yeah,
then that's fine. But yeah, I guess if you are expecting to go full time into your passion,
yeah,
it's more than just a passion now. It is also your career.
yeah,
And that means that you have to be mindful of other things other than just doing it, right?
yeah.
But I do think when you figure out those other things, you'll love it even more,
Mm,
right? So it's just the internet's not very good with the nuance,
of
right?
course, yeah.
Yeah. Because I still have to make sure we don't run out of money,
Yeah,
right? Like that
yeah.
would so I have to do math all the time.
Mm,
Spreadsheets, looking at numbers
yeah,
all the time. Um, it's just life. But yeah, I think if you build on top of that, I think you'll go further and you'll do better and it'll be a lot more fun. Um, but yeah, I'm not one of those people that says like, oh, if all you do is your passion, you'll be fine. Like you need to pay attention to other things too, right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Do you take a lot of time for fun? You must work long hours and, like, it must be hard to find time for that.
Oh, I'd make work pretty fun.
Mm,
So I really like designing things, building things, like making things. I like talking shit to people on school.
yeah,
Do that all day. Talk shit to people on my team. Make a meme, like spend 20 minutes making a meme about someone, send it to them. I made that t-shirt the other day.
yeah,
But it's kind of blended in with like, oh, I'm designing the live streaming feature and also talking shit to 6 people
right.
and making a t-shirt of and dropping in on our secret community every now and then. And
I'll bleep it out.
so it's yeah, that's what I mean. It's all mixed up. And then when I
Mhm,
get home, like, I'm playing with my kids, hanging out with my wife. We
mm.
watch like a TV series. So I love listening to music too. I'm listening to music all day. Like I'm having a really good time.
It doesn't mess with your focus to be able to do all that kind of stuff in between?
No, that's what works really good for me. Like I think it works well for like if something's funny, like think about like hanging out with your friends. If there's jokes and stuff, like it's the best
Yeah,
actually. Like if you're laughing and talking shit and also doing something productive, it's the best. I think people have gotten too serious. They think you can only be successful or be productive when things are totally serious. I am not very productive and or successful when things are too serious, right?
Do you like pineapples on your pizza?